Episode 191, Intruders. Stefan took one look at her and was greatly pleased with what he saw. Returning his face to the magazines he was reading, he ordered,
"Go and change into another set."
She went in and out a few times to change attire until it hit him. Damn, this woman looked good in anything. Realizing this, he furrowed his brows. In the end, he stood up and walked to the counter.
"I'll take this, and that. And, what else? That design as well. Pack all these up."
"Yes, sir." Monica sighed. Why does this man shop for clothes as if he's at a wholesale market? By the time she reached the toys department on the 5th floor, a few shopping bags were weighing heavily on her arms. Inside the toy store, she purposely selected a well-known toy brand and gift-wrapped it beautifully thereafter. When she came out, she passed this over to him. "This is a gift for the child." It was her specially selected gift for Sam. He took the present along with a greeting card she had personally written. Her handwriting was pretty and neat. At the end of the handwriting trail was a heartwarming, smiley emoticon.
"I suppose this is what it means by a birthday surprise."
After shopping, it was naturally time to eat. She picked a restaurant, but it turned out to be packed with many patrons. One of the service crew apologetically told her that the only seats available were in the main dining hall. The man made a call, and soon after, the restaurant manager rushed over. This person in charge personally led a team to give them a warm greeting when he learned that the chairman of Make Wealth Financial Group was in the restaurant. The manager was stunned at the sight of the sweet and young girl beside the director. With a smile, he looked at her and asked politely,
"How may I address you, miss?"
She returned a slight smile to the manager, just as Stefan's arms pulled her closer to him, making a silent declaration of her status. Since she was Mr. Lewis's woman, the manager needed to serve her well, right? No one could afford to incur a woman's wrath, especially the woman of this important person. Stefan could guess what was on the manager's mind with one look, but he was too lazy to say anything more and only commanded coolly,
"Prepare a table for me."
The manager hastily nodded.
"Yes, I'll have a table prepared for you this instant."
He specifically set aside an elegantly decorated private dining room. The dim lights and glass windows with bead curtains caused it to exude a classical charm. The manager dared not tarry for someone this important. Besides, it was a great honor for Mr. Lewis to visit this restaurant. Actually, another customer had already paid and reserved the private dining room on this very day and at an earlier time. Giving this room to Stefan would mean clashing with that other patron, but what else could he do? The manager put emphasis on this VIP's dislike for noise and his need to be served in a private room. No patron was more important than this man, so the manager could only cancel the reservation even if it meant offending the other person. Monica was so famished, she was already lightheaded. Her growling tummy made her grumpy, and she became even more grouchy when the man walked far before her without considering the load she was carrying. However, her grouchiness instantly dispersed when she laid eyes on the cuisines on the table as she took a seat. Just the two of them were occupying this big round table filled with food which tantalized all senses. It was extravagant and decadent, but at this moment, she was very willing to be decadent. Oh God, this is absolute bliss. Still, how can we finish all this food? Isn't it a waste if we can't finish this? Hence, she decided that, unlike the last time, she would have the leftover food as takeaways. Enticed by the delectable spread before her, she was all ready to dig in with her chopsticks. But when she glanced over at the man sitting beside her, she saw his glaring disinterest with the food. Right now, the man was wiping his hands without even looking once at all the cuisines on the table. This mister was a fuss pot when it came to his food. He was used to a good and pampered life since young. so these dishes were unsurprisingly not to his taste. He only came to eat at this restaurant because of her. In fact, to him, this wonderful spread was not even comparable to her homemade noodles. She watched his graceful mannerism at the table and attributed it to his aristocratic upbringing. She just realized at this moment that he had a serious case of obsessive compulsion regarding dirt. She secretly despised such prissiness and decided to ignore him. Proceeding to pick up a chunk of beef and put it into her mouth, happiness burst within her, and she carefully munched on the meat. It was so delicious, she almost cried tears of joy. Besides Andres' cooking, she had never tasted such nice food before. Just then, she heard approaching footsteps outside the door and looked over quizzically. A woman's disgruntled and petulant voice was heard vaguely. "I've already booked this dining room. How could you cancel my reservation just like that?"
Please, don't be upset, Miss Forbes. We have a very important customer we can't afford to say no. I definitely wouldn't dare cancel your reservation if it weren't for that.
Oh, am I not an important customer too? How can you be a boss when you don't understand the rule on first come, first serve? You're a businessman yet. No wonder it is said that all businessmen are despicable.
Sorry. I'm very sorry. This won't happen again.
The owner apologized profusely, trying to pacify her. Next time? How can there be a next time? Get lost!
Don't. Please wait, Miss Forbes. There's someone inside the room.
Don't block my way. I want to see just who this VIP that snatched my reservation is. What a daredevil! The door to the private dining room was pushed open suddenly. This action was so noisy and rude, it caused the man to look over as well. He frowned frostily. A well-dressed woman with dainty makeup, in a black maxi dress, was standing outside the room. There was another man standing beside her. He looked aristocratic and outstanding. The two's elegant mannerisms alluded to their elite background. The restaurant owner, perspiring with great anxiety, quickly stood to one side as he looked at Stefan with a fretful smile. He would intermittently size up the woman standing beside him, not knowing how to ease the situation. The woman's eyes narrowed sharply as she caught a glimpse of Monica. She was about to open her mouth sullenly when her peripheral view also registered the regal man sitting beside her. She immediately swallowed back her words. "Lewis? Mr. Stephen Lewis?" Her red lips opened and closed in astonishment as her eyes revealed in elation. Stefan maintained an icy expression as he regarded her. At one glance, she knew that he had forgotten her. The situation had turned rather awkward and tense.